Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at a new tool from Channellock. It is the 415 SJ. Now these are very interesting because they have a soft grip in them, which is, to my knowledge, the first set of Channellock tongue and grooves that came with a soft grip jaw. So the 415 is kind of a legacy pliers, and it goes all the way back to, the latest I could find was 1967, and if we look at the 1967 catalog, here's a clip from it, and it's a tongue and groove pliers, 10-inch long, 5 adjustments, capacity 2-inch. You could get it with polished handles, or you could get it plastic dipped as the 415G. Now, I happen to have a pair of the 5 adjustment position 415s, and that's what these are here. And the 415 is loosely based on the 430. This happens to be a set of older 430Gs, and you can see the 430 has 7 adjustments, where the early 415 only has 5. You can see there's adjustments missing here. So I believe this to be an early set of 415s. By 1968 or so, the 415 had 7 adjustments. So I do believe this is a very early set of 415s. If anybody knows anything more, let me know in the comments below. But you can see the 415 and the 430 are your 10-inch tongue and groove pliers. Then of course the 415 had morphed through time, and they went to a 7 groove pliers, and they even started making them for other manufacturers. This is a Blue Point 415, but it's made by Channellock for Blue Point. And this is the more modern style. This would be the grip style that they talk about. And this is a pair most likely from the 90s into the early 2000s. This is still struck into the tool. It is not laser etched. You can see the markings on the older tools that never had the grips on them. They put the markings on the handles, and that is all struck into the tool. And the polishing and grinding and fit and finish on this is far nicer than what you see on some of the newer stuff. But that brings us to present day, the new 415 SJ that has a soft grip in it. So let's crack these open and take a look at them. So here we have the markings from the Channellock 415 soft jaw, and it is made in USA by people here in the USA, and it has replaceable soft jaws. We'll take a look at that in a bit here. And it still says it has a 2-inch capacity, so I'd like to take a look at that in a little bit more detail, and we'll compare it to the other versions of the 415 that we have. But if you're keeping track, the 415 SJ, made in America. So we have a good classic 6-inch scale here, and to have the jaws parallel, I do believe the 415 of yesteryear is right at 2-inch. And that gives you a handle opening of about right like that, which is very useful for the tool. You could go open more, but your handles aren't going to be parallel. I'm going to say your parallel point on these handles is 2-inch, and you have a good grip on the handles. Let's see about our, what we'll call middle-aged 415. Jaws parallel, 2-inch. Same thing, nice jaw or handle spacing. Get your hands on there real good. Now let's take a look at our 415 SJs. So it looks like if we go to 2-inch, we're going to be open further try and get my angle right here that you can see. If we go to 2-inch, your angle is going to be open further. So let's see what our parallel position is going to be on this tool. I think you're going to get a good 1.75 inches out of it with the handles like the others were. Now that's not overly surprising because you have an 1/8 inch of grip. So if we look at the actual jaw metal part, it's right at 2-inch. So I'd say you have an 1.75 inches of grip with the Channellock 415 SJ, but you've now gained soft jaws, which is really nice. Now let's see how these mesh with each other. If you have them closed, looks like they close nicely with each other. Let's see how these look. So they say they're replaceable, and you can see it's just a piece of kind of rubberized plastic. We can check the durometer of it here in a little bit, but it has that little detent on it. And if we take a look in the plier itself, what they've done is it looks like they've milled part of the jaw face out in order for this to sit inside. Its retention is not bad. Once you get it pushed in there, it doesn't want to fall out. You can pull it out, but I don't think I have any concerns of it just launching out on me. And if you're really worried about it, you could probably get some adhesive or something like that in there and get that there. So, durometer. Let's go start with a Shure A durometer and see if it registers on that scale. If it doesn't, we'll go to a Shure D. So we're right around a 95. So that's almost maxing that scale, full scale being 100 out. So we're going to go to the Shure D and let's see what we get here. About a 45. Let's go to another spot. About a 45. 43. And that is sitting differently on the pliers, and you can see we're making little pinpoints on that when we test. So I'm going to say that these jaws, soft jaws, are about a 45 to 44 Shure D durometer. The handles, that would be Shure A. Let's see what we got. About a 72. 78 there, so let's try a different spot. 77. Let's try the handles of yesteryear. About an 82. 81. So they're probably not quite as hard as they once were, which I don't know if that's bad or not. It just means that they're a little bit more grippy. Moving on with these pliers, they are indeed 10-inch. And if we take a look at the overall length of them, we will see the handles to the tip of the pliers is 10-inch. Now, if you're measuring from the pivot point of what you actually have leverage with, you're more like a 7.5. But that's not how tongue and groove pliers have been measured. They've always been measured 10-inch, and these are kind of your classic 430-esque look. If you used 430s, they're pretty much the same thing, but with soft jaws. Just like the 415 is pretty much the same thing, but it's smooth jaws. So there you have it. A new pair of Channellocks from Channellock. I was very interested when I saw these come out. They were something that I really think I could use on things, because it's nice to have a soft jaw that you're not marring up your workpiece if you're trying to get something apart. Now, a good valid question would be, what are the size of the soft jaws? And we can get into this and say that they're approximately 1.1/16 by, I'm going to call that, you can't even see that, I'm going to call that 3/8. There you go. So it's 1.1/16 by 3/8. So it's a decent sized soft jaw that you can utilize there and have a decent durometer on it that doesn't quite get you into stuff that you're going to be shredding it. You're just going to have a decent grip that should stay on. They're replaceable, and I'll be curious to see as you use these, will they want to rock out of the pliers, or are they just going to stay in? I thought their way of going about this was actually pretty interesting, just taking a milling cutter and cutting a half circle in the jaw of the pliers and insetting the tips. It's very functional, and it works out. You just clip the tips in and they hold in. So I'll be curious to see if they come out with other sizes in these. I'm super excited to have these and get them into a bit of a rotation that if I don't want to mar up something, I know I can grab them with these. There are other pliers. Some of the pliers wrenches that we looked at actually have a soft jaw available for them, but this is something that is available for a bit less money than pliers wrenches. And if you're not going for high torque, something like the 415 might get you there. If you need something that's high torque, you may not want to go with the Channellocks, but if you're just taking basic things apart and want to have something that doesn't slip and dig up your workpiece, give these a shot. I think the build quality of these is what you expect from Channellock. It's decent. They have pretty coarse grinding on it. You can see the grain. There's no sharp edges or anything on the tool. It's made very well. It adjusts very easily, even with they have like a clear coat paint on it. But I will say the grinding is not what it was when these tools were originally put out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you intrigued by the 415 SJ? And was the little backstory on the 415 helpful for anybody, or at least interesting? I find things like this interesting, and I thought we'd do a little bit of a dive into the 415 with the new model. So I hope you enjoyed that, and as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.